Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This time, I'm going to show you how to defeat the game's secret super boss, the goddess Minerva, in Mission 966, the Reigning Deity. Chances are you've attempted to fight Minerva and got one shot by an ability that did 99,999 damage, and you were left scratching your head. That's because, in order to be successful against Minerva, you need to max out a couple stats. This is achieved through wearing specific accessories and creating materia with certain stats using Materia Fusion, which, if you're anything like me, you haven't touched since the tutorial 35 hours ago. In this guide, I'll take you through the materia and accessories I used to prepare for the battle, as well as the strategy I employed to bring Minerva down. This is a very long fight, even with maxed out stats, so be prepared for an arduous encounter once you're ready. Right off the bat, you'll want to equip 3 pieces of the Genji set. You'll want the Genji helm, armor, and glove. Obtaining these pieces is a bit of a challenge, each with different requirements. I've made a guide dedicated to how to get each piece, so check the description for a link to that video if you're missing any. I'll warn you, since they're the best pieces of armor in the game, it's going to take you a while to get them, even if you already have access to Minerva. Finally, your 4th accessory slot should be equipped by the Zedric. Zedric is found in a chest in Mission 956, so chances are you have it already if you've been opening every chest in every mission you've done up to this point. With this equipment combination, you'll receive the MP and AP cost 0, break HP limit plus, break damage limit plus, as well as a plus 100 boost to attack, vitality, magic, and spirit, and a 50% reduction in all elemental damage received. Keep in mind, since you don't have the Genji shield equipped, you do not have the auto guard benefit, but you won't need it. For materia, you want to focus on getting above 75,000 HP and ensuring that you reach 255 vitality and spirit. The higher your vitality rating, the less physical damage you receive, and the higher your spirit rating, the less magic damage received. Without having these 2 stats maxed out, you will get one shot by any one of Minerva's abilities, so do not go into the fight without having them being maxed out. To reach these stat points and ensure that we have the healing capability to survive the fight, we're going to use very specific materia acquired from missions or completion bonuses and fuse them into new materia with better stat bonuses. Keep in mind that in order to infuse materia with items, you need the item fusion tome that's rewarded for completing Mission 721. First, we're going to create a Drainga with a massive boost to HP. To do this, I recommend taking the Drainga with HP plus 500%, which is received from completing Mission 655, and fuse it with a Mastered Assault Twister materia. This will give us an HP bonus of plus 700%, but we're going to bring that even higher using Phoenix Downs. A successful steal from Minerva will max out your Phoenix Downs, so dump almost all the ones in your inventory into the fusion now, but still leave yourself with a few, just in case it takes you a while to get a successful steal off Minerva. You're going to rely on Phoenix Downs in the fight, so you don't want to start it without at least 2 or 3 in case you have bad luck with your steals. I ended up with a bonus of plus 890% on my Drainga, leaving 6 Phoenix Downs in my inventory. Next, we're going to create a Mug materia that gives us a vitality bonus of 40. There are a few ways to make this, but I took a Mastered Steel materia and fused it with a level 1 Tri-Fire materia. I then added in a lot of Adamantite to reach the desired bonus level. If you're running short on Adamantite, you can steal it from Goliath in Mission 956, but that's a very long fight, so hopefully you don't have to do that. Next up is Curaga, which should also have a massive HP bonus on it. To create this, we're going to use the full cure materia we received from completing 80% of all missions, as it starts mastered and has a 200% HP bonus on it already. You then want to fuse this with a mastered Moogle Power materia, combined with as many fat chocobo feathers as you have to give a massive HP bonus. I had 40 in my inventory, which created a plus 650% HP bonus on the new Curaga materia. You may be thinking, but isn't Full Cure a better spell? Why would I get rid of it for a weaker Curaga? Well, the answer to the first part of that question is yes. We're going to be equipping dual cast for the fight, so 1 cast of Curaga will effectively be the same as Full Cure during the fight. Next is Costly Punch, which, aside from limit breaks and summons, is going to be the only way we deal damage to Minerva, as it will deal 99,999 damage to her every time it hits. You want to create a Costly Punch that has a plus 100 spirit bonus. To do that, you want to fuse a Mastered Costly Punch materia with a Mastered Rebirth Flame materia, adding 16 Mithril to the mix. As the base bonus of magic in this fusion is 84, Using Mithril will change the bonus type to Spirit and add +1 for each Mithril used. Next, we want to use the Moogle Power Materia with a +60 Vitality bonus, which you should automatically receive for completing 70% of all missions. The final piece of materia you want to equip is Dual Cast, which can be found in a chest in Mission 941, or be purchased from the online shop Shade, which is unlocked after completing Mission 954. Having Dual Cast is imperative, so you can heal yourself back up to health very quickly after suffering Minerva's ultimate ability, Judgment Arrow. With this setup, you'll be able to steal 99 Phoenix Downs from Minerva and survive all of her attacks with minimal downtime. You want to treat death in this fight as a mechanic, and don't get discouraged if you go down. Just keep in mind that Judgment Arrow removes all non-permanent status effects, including auto life from Phoenix Downs, so even if you don't die from the attack, you will need to use another Phoenix Down to reapply auto life. Once you're prepared, enter Mission 966 to take on the Goddess of Legend, Minerva, the reigning deity. The fight against Minerva is not the difficult part. The difficult part is the setup, like I said before. Within the fight, she will launch a volley of abilities at you, and you want to block them all as best you can. The reason for this is because obviously it reduces damage, but you don't want to die too much and get overwhelmed. You want to start the fight by trying to steal Phoenix Downs from her as quickly as possible. That's why we have Mug equipped. No matter how many Phoenix Downs you have in your inventory, stealing from Minerva will fill it to 99. So if you have 0, you'll get 99. If you have 98, you'll get 1. As soon as you do this, if you don't already have the Phoenix Down used, you want to use it on yourself, because this is what's going to happen. Eventually, she's going to use an ability really quick, and you're not going to be able to block it, and you're going to die. However, if you've used the Phoenix Down, you're fine. Now keep in mind that even though you're doing this, she has an ability that we'll see in a little while called Judgment Arrow. This is her limit break. It's the ability that she charges up. When she does this ability, even if you have Phoenix Down active and the auto life buff active, Judgment Arrow will remove it, and you will die from it if you cannot survive the damage. That's why I recommend having at least 75,001 HP, because that ability at 100% will deal 75,000 damage flat. And if you can't survive it, you cannot beat her. She will cast it 3 times in the fight. As the fight goes on, you'll have opportunity to drop the damage that it's doing. However, that first time, odds are you're not going to be able to bring her limit break down to 75% power. So just keep that in mind. With each ability, you want to block it like I said. She has a fire attack, she has an ice attack, she has a thunder attack, and then she has a physical attack. Flash Slash, to me, her physical attack, is the hardest one to deal with. It comes out so fast and hits you several times. If you are not blocking it from the first hit, do your best to start blocking after the second hit. This ability can kill you, as you saw right there, right on cue. It can kill you really easily. It can be dodged if you're quick enough. It is quite difficult to do, though. So I recommend just blocking it like all of her other abilities. She also has the chance of casting Ultima. It's a much more scary attack than it is damaging, because you can actually roll through Ultima. And the way I roll through Ultima is by waiting for the screen to basically fill up completely white and then rolling. Some people do it based on an audio cue of the third explosion, but I can't necessarily hear that myself, so I don't bother. The Photon Feather attack is interesting. You can roll through it completely if you are close to her when it starts. Me personally was never really that great at it, but just in case you're interested, you can roll through it and avoid all the damage. Having her up against a wall does allow you to kind of bully her a bit and get her stuck, so you can just keep mashing Costly Punch. But Costly Punch is the way you're dealing all the damage in this fight, with the exception of limit breaks and summons. So here's Judgment Arrow, and you'll notice that just before she cast this, I got a Healing Wind limit break from Aerith, which makes me invulnerable, and it does work against this attack. However, even after it goes off, you will still lose your temporary status ailments. So as you saw there, I had the Phoenix Feather above my head, but once the ability finished, I no longer did. So you gotta always keep that in mind, and as soon as it gets removed, do your best to remember to use another Phoenix down on yourself. This way, you don't end up dying when she does it again. That happened to me several times in attempts, and I was getting very frustrated with myself because I just could not remember. So that ability there, Thor's Hammer, I find that she does that more and more the lower her health is, but it is very easily dodged. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, just block and keep your health up using Curaga. Because you have dual cast equipped, you'll be able to get back up to full HP. Basically from 50, 45% HP, you'll be able to get back up to full, no problem, as long as you have a decent magic stat. So you see there, she keeps rotating between Photon Feather, Krista, which is the ice attack. Definitely block that one, because if you don't, you're going to take a bunch of damage from it. And then she also has Crimson Flare. Crimson Flare, the best way I can recommend to deal with that is to just run into it and block. This is why having her against the wall is really effective, because as soon as she casts it, as long as you're blocking, it'll explode, and you won't get pushed back too far. But if you're at a distance, that won't be the case. You will get pushed back, and you won't really be able to get in her face for another couple seconds. You'll notice as she drops below 50% HP, this is when she starts casting Ultima. This is when she starts casting Anti-Magic and Anti-Physical, or Barrier and M-Barrier. Barrier and M-Barrier can be dispelled off of her, but you don't want to waste the Materia slot, so just wait for it to wear off. Additionally, you don't even have to do anything because of the fact that Costly Punch ignores all defenses. The only thing it does not ignore, however, is Invulnerability. As she gets lower in health, she will cast an Invulnerability spell on herself, and then at that point, you really just gotta wait until it drops off. And it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of annoying to deal with, and it kind of slows the fight down, especially because you're only dealing damage in one way, which is Costly Punch. It can get a little frustrating just to go through this fight, you know, holding L1 and mashing a Materia button. You're not really doing a whole lot, but this is the most effective way to bring her down. I have heard that if you max out your Buster Sword to 95%, or, you know, it seems to be a little bit bugged right now that you can't get above 95%, but if you max out your Buster Sword proficiency, you will be able to sort of just use your sword and deal massive damage pretty quickly to her. However, that is a really arduous grind that I did not want to do, especially since there's no trophy tied to it. I figured, what's the point? Maybe one day I'll go back and do it, but for now I figured I'll just use Costly Punch. We'll be fine. I want to get this platinum and get it over with. But as you see here, she is invulnerable. She's guarding everything, so you do just have to wait until this wears off. It doesn't last too long though, which is kind of nice. Maybe about 15-20 seconds, and then you can get right back into it. And that's pretty much it. That's the fight. So I'll let it play out here. I won't talk over the rest of it. Just know it is a difficult fight, but the difficulty is in the preparation. This was my final mission, so after this, I had 100% completion, I had the Platinum Trophy, and I had nothing more to do. You do not need to do every single mission before fighting Minerva, but it does help because of all the upgrade materials, or all the Materia fusion materials you're going to need to get the proper Materia. You may as well just do all of them and leave this till last. This way you kind of go out with a bang, you know? But that's it. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links for those are in the description below. As always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Conflict resolved.